Scoop Slam Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Scoop Slam Podcast. We're here, as always, a day late, though, reviewing Revolution and Monday Night Raw. It's a very sleepy edition of the Scoop Slam Podcast. And as always, I'm not going to bury him like John Cena. It's Ryan.
Oof. Long week of wrestling, man. Long week.
4 hours on Sunday, 3 on Monday. It's a part-time job.
2 on Wednesday.
2 on Friday. Could be 3, but we ain't watching Rampage.
Oh, no. Rather watch NXT.
As sad as it is to say, I'm kind of glad. Because, man, if I had to fit another hour, or like if the Ring of Honor show starts being really good, we're just going to have to cut out, I don't know, Raw.
Oh, man.
Just watch the YouTube clips.
Bro, you won't watch Ring of Honor, really?
I haven't yet. I mean, I've heard good things, but you know how that goes. Well, you know, the people.
I've yet to meet one person to say anything about Ring of Honor in the last 10 years.
Well, you don't have Twitter, sir.
Oh, well, I mean, we have the Scoop Slam Twitter.
Yeah.
You know, I follow them.
Well, before we get too far on a tangent, let's go ahead and get into this, because this is probably going to be a super show. AEW Revolution 2023. It didn't live up to 2022 because we were there live, so it'll never be that good. Plus, I had Punk.
Yeah.
And sadly, my prediction from last week was wrong. There was no Punk.
Well, we got FTR.
Okay.
That's gotta count.
I'm rocking with it, but
I'll give you half credit for it.
I did get the score right for the Iron Man match though.
You did. I thought of you when the final score got put up. Hey, there was something. Never mind. We'll get to it. Never mind. We'll talk about it when we get to the match.
Let's go ahead and start off our Revolution review. Ricky Starks versus Chris Jericho opened up the show. JAS banned from ringside unless they just run down from the locker room. Ricky Starks picked up the win over Jericho. Let me get the timestamps for us real quick, just because it is a pay-per-view. And he won with, I believe it was the Rochambeau. Correct me if I'm wrong. I thought it was a...
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, okay. I thought so. Pretty good match. I enjoyed it. And if this is your first time listening to the Scoop Slam podcast, we have a system overviewing here. We got your scoops, you got your slams. Our scoops are our positives, or, you know, our ups. Our slams are our downs, or our negatives. There's a whole lot of R's in that every time I say it. Anyways, for your scoops, I'll let you go ahead. What you got for Ricky Starks versus Chris Jericho?
Bro, I really didn't have a lot for this match. It was fine. It was a Jericho match in 2023. He's noticeably slower. I'm glad Ricky got a marquee win on pay-per-view. Scoop there, I guess. What about you?
Yeah, I was a little shocked. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But I thought it was an alright match. I mean, nothing crazy. Like you said, it's a Chris Jericho match, and
he's slower.
2023.
He's slower. That line saw he pulled off. Bro, his head's getting closer and closer to the ground when he does that now.
And Mr. Perfect's not there to save him. That was actually my scoop. I like to see the line saw. You don't see it all the time, but it brings out some classic Jericho. So he can still do it, and he's 55, and I couldn't do that. I can't do it now, but I definitely wouldn't be able to do it when I'm 55 or however old he is. So Nice little touch. The match was 13:35, by the way.
Uh,
The only other scoop I had was I and I mainly just thought this was neat because, like you said, I kind of grasping at straws for what to write down for this match. Um, the spear reversal into the code breaker I thought was nice. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but he did that to Edge before, didn't he?
I believe so. You talking about that WrestleMania match?
I think so.
Yeah, wasn't that 26?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, let's go with that. 26.
Yeah, I think that's right because 25 was Cena versus Big Show versus Edge, and 27 was when he retired.
Yeah, against Roberto Del Rio. So,
Oh God. Well, anyways, I thought the reversal was nice.
yeah, yeah.
Ricky carried. Ricky goes over. Good night at the office in my book. For your slams, what you got?
Bro, I hate Aubrey so much. Aubrey Edwards is the worst referee in all of professional wrestling. Her antics, I, you know what I'm talking about, Mike? Because it feels like she's trying to get herself over. Does she want to be
In
in
this
the
match,
match?
probably.
Jesus
In this
Christ.
match, it didn't bother me so bad.
I hate
The
her.
tag team match later.
Oh, God. Terrible.
Yeah. Well,
Awful.
we'll get there, but
Does AEW have the worst referees?
I just don't know any of the WWE referees.
Well, that's how
I
it should
guess, well, that's a good thing,
be.
yeah.
That's how it should be. You got the
Besides Lil
corpse.
Nate.
Oh, Lil Nature's a legend. I'm surprised they didn't pick up Mike Chioda, AEW.
They should have. I
They
don't know why they didn't.
they had him for a one-off match. I think it was Cody versus Dustin. They had Mike Chioda as the referee, and he never did anything again for the company.
Unless he didn't want to work there, but I'm pretty sure he did because I feel like I listened to a Jericho podcast that was like, yeah, I would really like to be there to, lead the locker room and stuff. Or it may have not been that podcast, but another one. Why would you not bring him in?
Yeah, just his experience. I mean, he could have mentored all them referees that never been on national TV.
Now, I mean, I don't like Aubrey for real.
Terrible.
I don't care, or I would take Aubrey over Rick Knox. Now, there's a guy. He's the one. I can't remember his name because I don't remember any of their names. What's the one in the FTR Briscoes match that got color?
Uh, wasn't there a ROH referee?
Mike Posey, is that his name?
Maybe I'm not. I'm not so up to date on my ROH referees, bro.
Oh well. Anyways, he's all right. And then there's a black-haired AEW referee that I don't mind.
Yeah, I like him. I forget his name.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. But
Paul Turner.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Um, but I don't know why we're spending like 45 minutes talking about referees. Yeah, I don't really care for Aubrey, but this match wasn't as bad as the tag team match.
No. What you got for the slams, Micah?
Double stack as always. Ricky tried to pull a flare when Jericho slung him into the corner. You climb over the top, and I don't know if it was his fault or Jericho's one, but I don't know. He got kind of hung up there. I think Jericho maybe didn't place him the best, and Ricky got tangled. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then the ending sequence when Sammy ran down. First, I think that's stupid, anyways, because they're banned from ringside. I'll just run down anyways.
Of course.
That eliminates the whole purpose. But nothing Chris Jericho does in 2023 makes sense or has purpose.
He thinks it does.
Our art, man.
Bro,
I'm really doing some of the best art of my career.
I hate it so much when he talks about his current stuff. He sounds so much like a douchebag, bro.
It's just not good. I think that's what pisses me off. It'd be different if it was good. Like Punk's like, yeah, I think the stuff I'm doing right now is great. Okay.
But even then, I don't want to. Let's not talk about the current stuff. I mean, let me pat you on the back. You ain't got to pat yourself on the back. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because Punk was mainly like, hey, we did $1 million and I was in the main event. It's but Jericho, I don't know. These stories I'm telling. No, these stories are off of awful 2015 Monday Night Raw and they're bad. And
Our
nobody wants to see that.
our art is just so. We book the best long term stories in all of professional wrestling. No, you don't. No, you don't. These are terrible, and they go on way too long.
I haven't seen Dynamite yet because we're recording this on Thursday.
I haven't
So
either.
some of this stuff's spoiled. I hope and pray that this feud's over because the number one criminal offense of every Jericho feud is it lasts for like 4 generations of your family, and then you get so sick of it that you don't care anymore. And if this just rides off into the sunset, Ricky got his win on pay per view because it was stupid to begin with.
Yeah, he shouldn't have wanted a rematch.
Exactly. Then okay, let's leave it there. But and I think I saw next week's Dynamite. Again, I haven't seen this week's. I want to say I saw a graphic for the House of Black versus the Elite versus the JAS.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully it's
that'll
over.
be a joy.
Hopefully it's over, bro. There's 2 months until the next pay per view, so I wouldn't rule it out that they don't have another match. I wouldn't rule it out.
No. Well, anyways, the last one was the ending sequence, like I was saying. The bat spot that Jericho did. I think Ricky maybe like missed his cue or something. But Jericho was sitting there holding the bat and he was like tapping Ricky on the foot, like, you've got to let me go so I can try to hit you with the bat. And yeah, it just.
Yeah.
Raw rolls on. Yeah, I don't know. That's good win for Ricky. That's all.
It kind of looked ridiculous when Ricky kind of stopped the Judas effect with his hand.
Yeah, because then it's like, why wouldn't everybody do that?
Yeah, and wouldn't that be really hard to do?
I mean, yeah, but
Now, Micah,
it's art.
I don't know how many spinning back elbows you've been a part of, but I don't know if you're stopping that with your hands there, buddy.
I don't think I want to be a part of any spinning back elbow.
Unless you're Ricky Starks. He got you.
Well,
Yeah, he got you covered.
anyways, moving on to what would have been my match of the night if it wasn't for the main event. Jungle Boy Jack Perry versus Christian Cage in a final burial match, which is basically just a buried alive match.
Casket. Casket match.
Well, what's the difference?
What's the big difference? I'll tell you. Casket match, you put your opponent in a casket. Buried alive match is you throw your opponent in a grave and cover them with dirt. Big difference.
Well, then, okay. Well, no, because this is a buried alive match because they have casket matches in AEW because Darby does them all the time.
Well, this is a different type of casket match.
I think, does WWE have buried alive trademarked?
I don't know if they have it trademarked. It kind of looked like the buried alive matches on the SmackDown versus Raw games. You know what I'm talking about? Where the
Yeah.
casket was like you had to put your opponent in the casket and you didn't really have to bury them on the game. You just had to throw them in there. It reminded me of
Man,
that.
that casket got out of there quick. It got out of there as quick as CM Punk did.
What's up with the smoke too? They have a smoke machine under that?
He descended to hell at lightning speed, and so there was all that smoke.
Went to go meet his father.
Man, do you think? I don't know. I would have been scared in that thing. I was thinking about that when it dropped. I was like, dang, they ain't dropping me like that.
You know what would have been scary? That old school buried alive matches WWE used to have. Like, how did they have a trap door under that thing, or how did they get out of that?
There's there's one of those magician secrets videos about it, and I think they just had a trap door that they'd slide through, and then they're out on the other side. But yeah, no, not me. I'm too claustrophobic for all that.
Well, how did Undertaker like peek his hand through the whole grave then?
Don't. Well, I. That's a good question,
You
and
gotta.
that's a good question for Google because I sure don't have an answer.
What happened in this match, Mike?
Um, I'll let you go first because I know Christian's your boy, and you actually like this. I was kind of shocked.
I did. This is probably my second favorite match of the night. Just like you, when Christian came out there with a turtleneck tank top, come on, Micah. You can't tell me you didn't chuckle at
Ultimate heel.
that. I, man, I had to look up on Amazon to see if I could buy one.
A
But yeah,
turtleneck Walmart vest.
but yeah, that was a big scoop, the turtleneck tank top. And then I got hit you with a double stack.
Go ahead.
You know, I like having the gravesite present in the arena. I was a little scared that they were gonna have it off site and it was gonna be like a cinematic stuff. And you know, that's not those just aren't as fun as the live stuff, you know?
It worked for the pandemic era of wrestling, but now, and even, I mean, I don't know. They did it before, but even then, it was still kind of stupid to me. Like I know WCW did some stuff like that where I'm watching, and it's like I wonder what the people in the audience think, especially back then. Now you have Titantron, you could at least watch it on. Back then, man, they didn't have anything.
Bro, you rolled out of
So
TV.
yeah, I don't know. I don't hate them, but they're not my favorite. So I do agree. I was glad that it was on site, and honestly, they did it better than I was expecting.
Yeah,
I don't know. It looked like you said, kind of like the old video games, and that sometimes AEW is real hit or miss with their production of things or presentation. I guess
yeah,
that'd be a better word.
yeah.
Um, for my scoops, I thought it was a solid match all around. Like I said, I thought it was the second best match of the night aside from the main event. I really enjoyed the stuff when they got closer to the casket. Sometimes it gets really hokey where they're like, "Oh, I got your head in the casket and you're fighting out of it," and sometimes that's just too much. But I thought they did a good job here of I especially Christian had Jungle Boy in there, and
Yeah.
Jungle Boy like had his hand and he was prying it, and Christian was like hitting him to try and keep his hand down, but then Jungle Boy fought out of it, and I thought that looked good, especially the shovel spot when Christian was swinging the shovel. I think Jungle Boy went to do it too, but man, he didn't pull the thing at all.
I like that.
So
Good.
yeah, it looked real, and
Yeah.
then the chair stuff came across good too. Even the concerto, because I know sometimes that can get a little weird, but I thought it was overall really solid. Everything was good. I mean, even like Jungle Boy, who's not a very charismatic person, as
Yeah.
I mean, any that I've seen on TV, he showed emotion that it did kind of hurt him to bury
Yeah.
Christian because Christian was that father figure kind of that Jungle Boy didn't have. I thought he waited a little too freaking long to shut the casket, but I did like that.
It was good storytelling. I liked it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So the only thing that I had, because that was all you had for your scoops, right?
Yeah, I didn't have any slams.
All right. I didn't have any slams against the match per se. This is just my own speculation. I really hope that this isn't a way to write Christian off completely.
It kind of seems like it. Why would they book a buried alive match if it wasn't?
Well, I mean, Undertaker's been
Well,
resurrected.
well, that's different. That's Undertaker's signature match. Are we gonna expect Jungle Taker to? Is this
Jungle
gonna be
Taker.
his signature match now?
No, he does always have street fights or some no DQ match on a pay per view though.
Hmm. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, he does.
He always does because every pay per view he wears jeans and boots.
Well, I guess when you're best friends with the booker, you can just book any match you want to for yourself. Bro, you know what I'm hoping Jungle Boy does after this? I'm hoping and I know we want everybody to turn heel on the podcast, but I think it would work if he just go full Hollywood and embrace because his dad was a famous movie actor. So, I mean,
That's where I thought they were gonna go when they split Jurassic Express up.
that's what
That
he
made
should.
more sense.
Yeah, he should just act like Hollywood Jungle Boy. I don't know if he has the charisma to pull it off, but I think it'd be the right direction for him to go in at this point.
Well, let me throw you a toss up real here. Yep, real here. Right here. Do you think it could be like a Dominic Mysterio situation where as a babyface he was really like, you're too white meat, you don't really have any charisma, and now you look at him as a heel and you're like, holy crap, where have you been all of my life?
Dom has a lot of circumstances around him to make him one of the best heels in WWE. He has, the Rey Mysterio effect. Rey Mysterio is the greatest babyface of all time. So, I mean, you put Dom next to Rey and he's messing over Ray every chance he gets. People gonna boo for that. And Dom just right place, right time with the Judgment Day. They were the right faction for him. I think it helps him a lot. Jungle Boy, I don't see anybody around him that he could benefit from.
Not from a management role.
Yeah, I don't want to see him join the firm or something like that. That would kill
Yeah.
it almost immediately.
And I don't want to see him in a tag team anymore because it's time to go solo. The only thing I could think, and this is obviously hindsight booking, which is kind of what we're doing,
Yeah.
would have been to have Christian be his mouthpiece, and Christian can wrestle every now and then like he does now, but not in like a Sting role where you have to be in a tag team every pay per view, but just Christian could be there and wrestle sometimes, but not all the time. And it doesn't have to be that's got to be the blow off match for every feud. But then he could have been Hollywood Jack Perry. Christian could have been his agent,
So,
because Christian's all about the money. And then Luchasaurus still could have been this white meat, dinosaur character or whatever.
dinosaur character.
Well, am I wrong? Is
Um,
that the wrong way that you would describe him?
I don't. Yeah, I guess that. Yeah, okay.
The shoe fits, Ryan. Now, whether he wears it or not is up to him.
But you're So basically, what MVP and Lashley did,
Yeah, exactly like that.
wrestled here and there, and Lashley was the money.
But see, look how far Lashley got. Lashley's the world champion.
It did. It worked. It was good.
See, now just call me up, Tony Khan. I'm free anytime.
Hey, we're both ready.
We're ready for our book and roll. I give you my phone number, but not on the air.
No.
Anyways, we'll move on.
We ain't got much to say about this one.
Yep, nope. The Elite versus the House of Black. You got any scoops?
Not one.
I ain't either.
Yep.
You got any slams?
I didn't like how Tony Schiavone had to come back.
I didn't know what Tony you were referencing here. I was like, there's, I mean, well, Yeah, I don't know. This one, I was driving and this was on in the car while I was driving, so
I want to go pop some
flips
popcorn.
and things and
Yeah, yeah, a lot of that. There's a lot of flips. It burned this match lasted a long time too.
yeah, it was 18 minutes, which is
Jesus,
the third longest match on the card.
jeez,
Which I mean, the last one's an Iron Man match, so
bro, I had to make me 2 batches of popcorn because I did not want to be in front of the TV watching this.
it just yeah, I don't know. It's a Bucks match. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The most positive thing that came out of this was CM Punk posted a picture of Brody King's face paint and then said that he looked like Lurtz off of Lord of the Rings. And I don't know if you watch Lord of the Rings, but that's pretty funny. So go search that out if you haven't seen it.
Punk's watching the product.
Oh well, he likes Brody King apparently.
You think he bought the pay per view or just got an illegal stream like all of us?
Oh, I'm sure he bought it.
I'm kidding, everybody. We don't use illegal streams.
No, no, no. I would never not fork over my $50 to Tony Khan.
What? Us never.
WatchWrestling.ai for anyone.
Yeah, man. What else happened on this Revolution?
Well, you're not gonna be happy with the next match.
Oh
Soraya
my!
versus Jamie Hayter versus Ruby Soho for the AEW Women's Championship. I
Okay.
wish I had a soundboard sometimes. That would make the show so much better.
All right, man. You didn't.
I'll start us off.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't think you want to, or I don't think you have anything to start us off with.
No.
The match was better than I was expecting. Now, I ain't gonna lie. I was also driving home while this was playing, so
So for a match you never laid eyes on, it was better than
no,
you.
I've watched bits and pieces.
Okay.
It was okay. It wasn't bad. It wasn't what I was expecting, if that tells you anything. I was expecting much worse. And for my other scoop, Jamie Hayter did good because she always did. I mean, she carried this match because we both know that Soraya should have stayed retired and
Yeah.
Ruby Soho is past her expiration date. And I'm not trying to be hateful to any of these women, just they ain't cooking.
Nope. She carried this match, huh? She carried it right to the dumpster because this was bad. This was not a good match. Ruby, she had this spot where I think she did a dive to the outside, and it really bothered me because they just stood there and waited on her for 10 minutes. Kind of like they did with Commander on last week's Dynamite, where they stood and waited 30 minutes for him to walk the tight ropes. That.
Oh well, there's some stupid crap in this next match, but we'll get to that in just a
We'll
moment.
get there. Yeah, we'll get there. Yeah. So one of my slams is just Ruby doing her wait to catch me spot. Um, and the aftermath, Micah. Can I talk about that? Can I talk about the aftermath of this match?
Go ahead, break it down for us.
Okay. Jamie Hayter won the match. Yes.
With a roll up.
She did the most dangerous move in all of professional wrestling. But she won the match. Ruby then turns on Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker after helping them throw out Paige and Tony Storm to the outside. Why didn't Ruby just turn on Britt and Jamie Hayter before she threw out Paige and Mike, you get what I'm saying here? Why did she wait to turn on him?
Yeah, I don't know.
And if she was gonna turn on Hayter, why didn't she just help Saraya throughout the match? They were adversaries throughout the whole match.
The only scapegoat for that is that's something that's happened before in wrestling. So it's kind of like the papos. Yeah, I can't pronounce that word. Not right now. The stupidity of like, oh, hit my music before I run out, or oh, you're at the entrance ramp, so I can't run and chase you. I mean, this has happened before where there's three people in a match, somebody helps them, and then,
But did she
at the end they turn.
did she see the light at the end of the match, or was it mid match she saw the light and realized she was going to turn on him?
I don't know.
And if she was, hold up now, if we're going, how did she know that Paige and Tony Storm were going to accept her for who she really is? Why? They could have just beat her up. She didn't know they were going to accept her into the group.
Maybe she was making a bold statement that she realized after she lost that she couldn't do it by herself, and so she needed
Well, you know what?
help.
If you're going to throw me out the ring, bro, I don't care who you are. You're gonna catch these hands when I come back in the ring. I don't care if you just turn on my op. You about to get beat down. Why didn't they just beat her down after that?
There's some explanation on Dynamite this week. That's all I can tell you. But right now, I can't help you.
Okay.
I get your point, though. I mean, it's stupid, and
Made no
if
sense.
it wasn't just wrestling in general, then I wouldn't really have, or I wouldn't be trying to defend it. But it's just shock value angle. That's all that was.
Russo angles.
But unlike the bloodline angle, where it's obviously like, oh, okay, he did this to get at Sammy and trick Sammy into believing that he was on his side so then he can prove his allegiance to Jimmy. It's more just like, why did... If she didn't throw him out in the first place, I don't think I would have been as like, not offended. But...
Well, she beat up Saraya throughout the whole match.
Yeah.
That's like when...
I don't...
Do you remember the Aces and Eight storyline?
Yeah. That's...
Well, Bubba Ray got beat up for weeks, and then it turns out he was the leader of Aces and Eights.
Hey, man, I liked the Aces and Eights as a kid.
It just made no sense, man.
I remember as a kid, I was like, oh my God, like, what? How could he be the leader? But, like, now thinking back on that story, yeah, it don't make any sense.
I guess they had to make it look real, so beat me up, man. And then they'll be all at work because I'll be revealed to be the leader in the end. Like, what? That makes no sense.
Stiff me, brother. Pause.
Oh.
Well, following this is fixing to be an argument.
Yeah.
Hangman Adam Page versus Jon Moxley in a Texas death match. Hangman Adam Page picked up the win by submission in 24 minutes and 45 seconds. For the scoops, I'll go ahead.
Yeah. You better.
I like Hangman's. Yeah, you probably ain't got any. I liked Hangman's entrance. I thought that was cool. The red was nice. The new, well, it's not a new theme song, but just the different theme song gave it a different feel. It didn't come out with pink and purple tassels.
I didn't know what the music was.
Oh, I didn't either, but it sounded good.
Yeah, okay, all right.
I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not up to date on my
Western
cowboy tunes, but
everybody online was screaming themselves talking about it.
Well, that's just anything that the Bucks are related with. Oh my God, they did this thing from this 1960s movie, and that's this was hinted at 3 years ago on Being the Elite, where Hangman stuck his pinky up Brandon Cutler, and yeah, that's what all the people do online. they're such long-term storytellers. They can't tell any story besides the Hangman Adam Page story to begin AEW, and that was it.
And
And
nobody
it
remembers
almost fell off the rails by the end of it.
that. Yeah.
Well, anyways, I don't know how we got on that topic, but yeah, nice entrance from Hangman Adam Page.
Okay.
Oh boy, you really didn't have any
No,
scoops.
no, not one. I did not.
Really?
Bro, I did not like this.
All right, well, quadruple stack. It's a rarity.
Yeah, do you think?
The hot start made sense to me, so I thought that was nice.
Okay.
Single leg crab on the barbed wire I thought was a cool spot because typically they'll like do a submission with the barbed wire, but instead they did the submission on the barbed wire. So I thought that was.
Was that the barbed wire board?
No, I think it was a pile of barbed wire.
Now,
I don't
Mike,
know.
help me out here. So, why is a barbed wire plywood type instrument? Why is that under the ring?
No, it was set up outside the ring actually.
Okay, I'm so sorry. What?
Start
Yeah.
the match.
So why was that set up?
Because it's a Texas death match, and so
Yeah.
they've got to provide, you got to provide the mechanic with the tools he needs to do the job. So
Okay.
they provide them with barbed wire tables and chutes and ladders and snakes and planes. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, following that, solid match overall. I liked it. It was the only decent story outside of the MJF stuff. It wasn't great, but it was at least a story. It's better than old Buckaroo can say.
Okay.
And yeah, I thought it was a really good match.
Really good.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It was a good hardcore match.
All right. I understand there is a market out there for deathmatch wrestling.
Is there?
Well, I mean, somebody's going to those GCW shows, but me, Micah, I just don't I don't like all the forks and all the gratuitous stuff and all the blood and the biting of people that's bleeding. I don't like that torture porn type stuff. I'm a big scary movie guy, Micah. I love scary movies.
Really?
But yeah, I love scary movies. But I never ever can get through one Saw movie. I just don't like all the self-mutilation, man. I just don't like this. This was bad. There was no story here. Any jabroni off the street could have did this, Micah. We could have went out there and had a match like this. We're not even trained. Yeah. Not trained yet. But come on, man. It's just bro, this is if a fan that hasn't watched in like 5 years, Micah, came in while you were watching this, what do you think they would say? Or better yet, if somebody that's never ever seen professional wrestling came in and you were watching this, how would you explain this, Micah?
Well, it's a very intense feud, and so they're using
forks,
blunt instruments,
forks,
and foreign objects and box-like structures to hurt their opponent. Okay. To counteract your point, there was a one day young Micah was at home and I don't remember how these events transpired, but somehow I got a greatest matches of WrestleMania DVD. On said DVD was Edge and Mick Foley at WrestleMania 23?
20, 22.
2?
22.
22.
Yeah.
And young Micah has liked wrestling ever since. I now have a podcast about wrestling. That's still one of my favorite matches of all time. Like top 3.
Yeah.
So I mean I like the hardcore matches if they're done well. I thought this was done well. I see your point. It's not for everybody. And if it's a good feud, I think that's another thing too. If it's a good feud like when MJF and Punk had the dog collar match where the stipulation makes sense, then it's more palatable. The feud wasn't great, but when you compare it to the other stuff,
Oh, they used bricks. They used bricks, Micah, and they didn't even sell the. They didn't even sell the bricks, man. Hangman got his hand smashed in bricks.
Well, calm down there, Walter White.
Does he? Does he sell his hand throughout the
They
match?
don't sell the bricks.
No, they didn't sell. Bro, he didn't sell. He didn't sell it the whole rest of the match. His hand should have been hurt. Didn't sell it. How many bricks did we use in this match? That didn't matter.
I think there was 2.
Didn't matter. You can't beat these guys unless you got a bazooka. Micah, come on, man. Some of this stuff, like Hangman wrapped himself in barbed wire and did a moonsault to that. Why would he do that?
Well, now you're stepping all over my slams.
Oh,
You're scooping up all my slams.
I just hated this match with a passion. Some of the stuff, it was way too much for me, man.
I agree the brick spots were too much. I also agree, and this is what I was talking about earlier, when they do those stupid dives onto groups of unsuspecting citizens. Like, they're all just standing there, and Adam Page didn't even look back when he did the moonsault. He wrapped himself up in barbed wire and just, I'm going to do a backflip now. And
stupid.
But that backflip, though, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. The whole thing's stupid. I hate that move. I really don't even like Adam Page. The brick stuff I didn't like. That was a slam.
Moxley had this stupid, I don't know if it was his fault or Hangman's fault, but the ending sequence, do you remember what happened, Micah? I know it's been a couple of days, but do you remember what happened? So Hangman
something
was
to do with the chain.
No, before that, Hangman was setting up for Logan Paul's finisher, and Moxley just locks eyes with him and just stands there, like frozen in fear. And Hangman just does his finisher. Like, why didn't Moxley just move out the way? Move 2 inches to the right. He just stood there, waiting the whole way. Terrible. Awful.
Yeah, I don't remember that. That's one thing I don't like about that finisher is it relies a lot on the guy to just still be standing there.
But if you look like you're dazed and confused, I mean, maybe you can get away with it. But Moxley just stood there. He might as well put his hands in his pockets. Bro, he just let it happen. And then he got choked out by a chain. This is where there's submissions in a last man standing match.
Well, it's a Texas death match.
Well, if this is a Texas death match, then there should be no submissions at all. You know what an old school Texas death match is, Micah?
I thought, all right, correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, yeah.
I thought they had to pin them.
Yep.
And then they had to do the 10 count.
Yes.
But couldn't they submit too?
No.
Don't take it for Wikipedia to be 100% true. This says the Texas Death Match is a variant of the Last Man Standing match in which a wrestler must be pinned to a 3 count or made to submit / rendered unconscious before the referee begins the 10 count.
Maybe that's true. I just never seen a Texas death match and in submission.
Well,
And then you know
learn
what?
something new every day.
You know what? That piece of garbage, Moxley. I praised him last week, and he just, bro. I don't. You know, he was on Dynamite this Wednesday, Micah. Right after a
Yeah.
death match, he was there live. No
Yeah, I don't like
bandages,
that.
nothing wrong with him. He's good. Everything good to go.
Well, a couple days to heal up.
Oh yeah, just a couple days from a Texas death match.
Yeah, I don't like that part either. Again, the moonsault was stupid. Paige got right back up after a Death Valley driver and a curb stomp onto a brick. Like, he got up 10 seconds later, and I was like, okay. Moxley then gets clocked with said brick and then was right back up within a couple seconds. He didn't even sell it as good as Hangman did, and that's, I mean, it's like being the spare prick at a wedding. Low man on the totem pole.
You know what? All it takes is one TV executive to see this kind of stuff and say, "I don't want this type of stuff on my network," and
Well,
they get right off the air.
it was a pay-per-view. It's a little different.
Bro, I'm just saying though, they have matches like these on week. I mean, you remember when Nick Gage and Chris Jericho had that thing with the pizza cutter and the death match stuff? Bro, all it takes is one TV executive.
I can't hate on that though, because that's one of the reasons. Like, since that point, I've watched almost every week of AEW Dynamite because I watched the Dark Side of the Rings and I saw the episode, and then I saw that was advertised, and I was like, how are they gonna pull that off on national television? And so then I watched Dynamite, and then I watched it like every week since, but maybe one or two.
You know, I've seen every Dark Side of the Ring, but I refuse to ever watch that Nick Gage episode.
Really?
No, I just can't, bro. I just don't like all the deathmatch stuff.
It was a good episode, and I thought this match was all right.
Well, hopefully, we never see them ever again in the ring in a death match. Which I know Moxley's probably gonna do about a dozen more by the end of the year.
Oh, that'll be next week.
Yeah.
Well, on the topic of things we probably will never see again,
Oof.
Samoa Joe faced Wardlow for the TNT Championship. Boy, I'd be pissed if I had to follow that. This went 10 minutes and 40 seconds, and Wardlow picked up the win with sleeper hold.
Yeah.
And there's as much silence right now as there was with the crowd. I didn't have any scoops because the match wasn't bad. It was just there.
Yeah, it was happening. But by listening to the crowd, you wouldn't be able to tell that it was happening. It just felt like intermission. Yeah, intermission. Yeah, felt like that.
T-shirt match.
Popcorn.
And that sucks because it's this time last year. We were there. We know. Wardlow got the biggest reaction of the night when he gave that ring to CM Punk.
Dang, that was a year ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
And look at me now.
How pissed are you if you're Wardlow?
Oh, I'd be hot about it.
Like, are you just counting down the days until you can sign with NXT?
Do you think he does, though?
I think him and Cody are very close friends.
I could see it.
Yeah.
I could see. I heard something on Twitter. Now, again, don't quote me as this is fact, but apparently Starks has heat. Oh well, maybe I got some inside sources. Nah, apparently Starks has heat in the locker room though because he went and
I saw that. Yeah.
Went to Royal Rumble.
But bro, it was like security footage they caught him.
Exactly. I mean, it wasn't like, oh, here I'm on WWE television. Like, From what it looked like, he just came in for the Cody match and then I say the Cody match. That was the Rumble.
Wasn't like he sat.
You know what I mean.
It wasn't like he was sitting beside him during the press conference. I mean,
or like that dude on that episode of Impact during WrestleMania weekend.
Oh man, you talking about one of the Highlanders?
Yeah, poor soul.
I forget his name. Yeah, but man, it was. I can buy it. The Heat.
It's understandable to a point, but at the same time, it's like, man, he's just supporting his friend who like 90% of that locker room are still friends with and probably talk to on a pretty good basis.
Yeah, bro, we're just trying to make a living. We're just trying to get paid. It's not a real war. Who cares? Get over yourself.
Let's see. Yeah. The only thing I wanted to say about this for real was, and we talked about this off the air a little bit, was the security guard angle. They did their absolute best to kill all of Wardlow's momentum.
Yeah.
And then, because they didn't book him in good matches, he faced the security guards, and then he beat Jay Lethal. And then he faced Orange Cassidy, and it was stupid, and there's no way that would be competitive. And then he loses the belt, and who cares?
At that point, yeah. No, I don't want to spoil Dynamite for anybody, but I don't know, man. Just having Wardlow win the title back after losing it for 3 weeks, it's not something I would have booked, you know? People don't want to boo Samoa Joe. Why did they book him against Joe?
And especially when, like, Samoa Joe's a good heel, don't get me wrong. But he's like a cool heel, so you want to cheer him. And people at the time wanted Joe to be utilized better. So when you give him a chance to be the TV champion, that's part of that utilizing better. And then people wanted to see that more than they did Wardlow. And that's just the facts. I mean, he didn't get any good feuds besides a Jay Lethal feud that lasted way too long. As soon as Darby got the title, Darby defended it for like 8 weeks straight on Dynamite, and then that was it. Why couldn't Wardlow do that? Why could Wardlow not have a match every single week? They only work one time a day or one time a week.
And you know what? Don't have him be competitive with Orange Cassidy. Have him squash Orange Cassidy in 3 minutes, 4 minutes. He shouldn't be going 15 minutes with Orange Cassidy. I know he has his fans, but it's just not good for... Bro, when did Goldberg go 15 minutes with Disco Inferno? He didn't. He would have squashed him in 2 minutes flat.
Just like it should be.
Yeah, just like it should be.
Nope.
And you know what? I don't think Samoa Joe is innocent in this either. Are we going to face facts now, Micah? Samoa Joe, unless he's in there with a Darby Allin, he's not going to have a good match in 2023.
Whoa, I didn't think this match was bad.
Bro, he's not what he used to be. He's slow, he's fat, his cardio sucks. I'm just thinking, call a spade, Micah. He just...
Well, just pissing his mouth while he's down there.
Bro, he was on commentary towards the end of his run with WWE, and to be honest, he should have stayed there. I'm just saying, he's not Samoa Joe 2006. He's certainly not Samoa Joe 2004. He's Samoa Joe 2023, 100 pounds heavier, half a step slower. Bro, Micah call a spade a spade.
I know, but
face facts, bro. He shouldn't be in there anymore.
He's still a good promo, and you act like he's just the worst wrestler. Like, you act like he's in there like Jericho. It ain't like that.
Are we sure?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know, man. I haven't enjoyed a Samoa Joe match, unless it's with Darby, in a very long time.
he had that one good. That's that sounds like I'm making it up. He had that one good match where he did the shmoney dance, but I don't remember
Wait,
who
what?
it was against.
Who was that again?
I don't know. The dude was in the corner, like he had beat him up, and then Joe started doing the shmoney dance.
Micah is making stuff up, everybody. That,
No, I'm. Come on now, somebody send it to the Twitter account so I can show him.
bro,
I don't.
you got those nostalgia glasses on, just like Jeff Hardy. You thought he was,
Oh,
bro's been
I'm not hearing it.
bro's been cooked for years, but you still choose to turn a blind eye to these guys that are way past their prime, and they're just taking up a spot at this point. Joe is still a great promo. I'm not taking anything away from him on the stick, on the mic, on commentary. He is just not. He's not who he was in the ring anymore, Micah. He's slow. He has bad
I can't.
matches.
I can't disagree. It was against one of the Acclaim members. It's Max Caster. I just found it. I can't disagree that he's not what he used to be, but I mean, that's like, I don't know. That's like saying, oh, well,
Well,
Derrick Henry wasn't who he used to be
well
20,
Brian
or.
Brian Danielson just had the best match of probably the last 5 years that he's been wrestling. All the way in
But
2020.
that's a different style, and
How?
Brian's a smaller guy.
Samoa Joe wasn't relying on speed and athleticism like Brian does.
Huh? Joe's whole gimmick was that he was a athletic big guy.
Yeah,
Now he's not athletic, so now he's just a big guy.
he's just a slow big guy. He's a slow big
Dang
guy
it, man.
with promo. He's Mark Henry, man.
Oh, come on.
You can't tell me that Mark Henry had great matches.
Don't bury Mark Henry like that.
Well, I mean, we calling a spade now, Micah? Mark Henry didn't have great matches either. Good promo. I believed him when he said something, but he had terrible matches too.
Hall of Pain was good.
I know, outside the ring, when he beat up people. Inside the ring, it was like watching paint dry, man. He had matches with Big Show. Come on, Micah.
Well, they broke the ring.
Do you remember?
The company likes moments.
Do you remember anything else about that match?
Well, the thing.
Yep, I like that.
Yeah, where they did. Wasn't the name Battleground?
Nah, that was Vengeance.
Oh.
Yeah, that was Vengeance.
See, you're more of a historian than me.
Anyways, I like that.
Yeah, Wardlow's lost his world, and
Joe should have retired. Oh, it's over.
So you're saying that Samoa Joe crushed Wardlow's world?
I'm saying
big.
Oh, dang, just call him fat, Micah.
Well, no, those are your words.
Well, Scott Steiner was onto something when he claimed it, but I'm saying he should take Jericho's spot on Rampage as the commentator. There. Happy?
I like Samoa Joe. I still like Wardlow, but it might be too little too... Well, I don't think there's a might anymore.
I'm done with him.
It's too little too late.
I'm done with him.
Well, after that, there was a tag team match that was definitely on.
I didn't pay much attention to this. You got to help me.
The Guns faced the Acclaimed and Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett and Orange Cassidy and Danhausen, and it was certainly a match, and I thought it was okay. The Guns picked up the win. I honestly couldn't even tell you how they did it right now. But yeah, they retained, and then FTR came out and, did the point, and that was pretty much it. The FTR thing was the biggest takeaway from any of this, really.
So FTR was healthy this whole time, but yet we had to get Danhausen and Orange Cassidy on pay-per-view to have a tag match with the Acclaim, the Guns, and Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal.
Yeah.
Okay.
I They could have booked so many other teams in the spot that. Well, I said this on the last review. Sorry, drop my remote. You know, say what you want to, because I don't like Orange Cassidy, and I don't really care for Danhausen either. But Danhausen got like, other than the Acclaimed and obviously FTR, they got like the biggest pop because he's really over, and I don't know why, and I can't figure it out, but people freaking love him. He's like the second biggest merch seller behind Punk.
Yeah. The Insane Clown Posse, they have their fans as well. I don't get that, and I don't get Orange Cassidy and Danhausen. I, I don't know, man.
Well, for the scoops, I had a couple. You didn't have any again, boy. You really didn't like this pay per view, huh?
The main event saved it, man.
The Acclaim still have some momentum, despite the past couple weeks. Despite Tony Khan's worst booking,
Did you did you catch the rap?
he fumbled a little bit. I don't remember what he said now, but I just remember it being like,
Yeah, I didn't catch it.
well, that makes two of us. Yeah, I don't know. I just remember he kind of stuttered, so I was like, oh, well, I won't make mention of it. I think the Guns are going to be really good in a couple years. I know I say that all the time, and I mean, they're tag champs right now, but,
A couple years.
well,
Yeah, let's just give the tag championships to these guys that will be good 5 years from now. It's like giving Jade the title and saying, "Well, she's going to be good years from now. Why give her the?" I'm going off on a tangent. Go ahead, Michael. On your scoops.
they just need a little work on their, in-ring stuff, but for the most part,
They got no
I
reaction.
like the Guns.
They got no reaction.
Well, they have, I don't know, they have go away heat right now
Their
because they
music
beat the
sucks.
Acclaim. That too.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's like, like Western
Yeah.
synth music. I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
MJF has some weird music too to be a main event guy.
Yes, but it's the same feeling that I get if you hear Theory's music, except MJF's is better to me. Because you hear the bump, bump, and you instantly know, like, oh, great. And I think that's good for a heel. It's same with, like, A-Town, down. You hear that, and you're like, oh, great.
But at least he got lyrics though. I mean, you can main event guy should have lyrics to his song. I know that's probably a unwritten rule of wrestling, but I mean, man, I don't know. I think MJF his music it sounds like something you would hear in like a commercial for like a bank. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know. It just doesn't feel.
I see your point. I don't know. I like it. Well, I mean, would I listen to it working out? No, but
Yeah. How you get
you
pumped
know.
up?
Well,
Add some
yeah.
lyrics.
What are you gonna do? Rap over it? There's already a version of that on Spotify, and it's not great.
Well, I mean, bring in Snoop Dogg. What's he doing? Remember when Snoop Dogg remixed Cody Rhodes' music?
No, I wasn't watching then. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. When he was on that talent show on TNT, he
Oh God.
yeah, Snoop Dogg.
Go Big Show.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg remixed this song and he had it for like 3 weeks and everybody hated it, so he went back to his current theme song.
I was watching a clip the other day that was kind of like a compilation of AEW during the pandemic. They had so many celebrities on that show.
Yeah.
Like Tyson, Snoop Dogg, Shaq, Bischoff, like all that. I don't know, man. It just watching that compilation and now it feels like two different companies. You know what I mean?
It does. It does.
Some things for the best.
It was a lot more cohesive back then too, because they could tape 3 or 4 shows at once, and you couldn't get spoiled online about it because the people at the show didn't release anything. I mean, you didn't know what was going to happen. And so they could write a bunch of stuff that'll happen and follow that plan for 3 or 4 straight weeks. It all felt together, you know?
Well, they also didn't have like 200 contracted talent that they had to manage and write storylines for.
Yeah.
And again, I petitioned for a booking committee to make things. Tony, it just make your life easier and it'd make the show better. But you know,
Is he booking
each
ROH
their
too?
own. Yeah,
No, stop it. For real?
according to my sources are the internet.
That is crazy.
I don't know how he does it. I feel bad for having to watch 7 hours of wrestling, much less write.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
He has the job with the Jags and that soccer team in England or something.
And 2 hours of Ring of Honor, and they tape those though, so I guess maybe that helps. The last scoop I had was the crowd was really flat for the Guns, but FTR is back, so that's a positive. And they called it the Shatter Machine.
Did they?
They did.
Wow, I didn't notice that.
So we both got two, and because you hadn't had a whole lot of to say the past couple times, I'll let you go ahead for your slams for the 4-way tag match.
Just what I said earlier, Aubrey Edwards, worst referee in wrestling. Terrible. That whole spot with Jeff Jarrett, somehow she can just push Jeff Jarrett down, and I don't know, man. That sucked.
It's different to me when it's like, you know, Flair used to cower to the referees, but
Not to a chick.
Well, it's not even that so much. It's more because, like, if you look at like Lil Nate next to like Hogan, and Hogan would be like, "No," it's more their like authority. But she straight up shoved Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
No.
And it looked stupid.
I wouldn't have sold that if I was Jeff. I don't know who booked that, but that doesn't work for me.
Probably Jeff.
Oh, man. Well, Jeff did lose to China.
Yeah. Well.
That's China.
Now.
That's China. Not
well,
Aubrey Edwards.
You don't know what Aubrey's packing under those sleeves.
I didn't know where you're going with that. I don't want to assume anything about Aubrey, but...
Well, I tell you what, Sonya Deville's packing too, apparently.
She learned from
that also could go either way now that I think
about it. There you have it.
Well, boy, that took a turn.
Anyway, man, hit you with a double down. Double stack as we coined it.
Double down, that could also go either way.
Come on, man. You know, it was nice of the best tag team outside of WWE to show up after the Battle Royal took place on Wednesday and after the 4-way match happened. It was nice of them to show up, you know. Thought they were the best tag team in the world, Micah.
No, well, you sound kind of sour.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, you claim they're the best tag team in the world. I expected them to make this pay-per-view, you know, be on the card.
Well, I don't think that that's their fault. They're not the booker.
I just assumed that best tag team in the world. I mean, they expect us to take them as a big deal, right?
Well, okay, look, I know you're sour.
Just
according to Dax, their contract still ends in April.
Good.
So
get them up out of here.
I know you're sour that they didn't go to WWE, so we'll see if he's telling the truth.
I don't want them back.
You're lying to yourself, and you know
I just don't want them, man. If Dax is gonna be like that, I don't want him. I want an apology from Dax for what he did with slandering Shawn Michaels' name like that.
Oh, come on now.
No, I wouldn't.
Leave Dax alone.
No, he stinks. I hate him.
Speaking of Jeff Jarrett falling down for stupid crap. He did the same thing for Orange Cassidy, who is
Of course.
probably 100 pounds less than him. So,
And
I mean, I don't know about you, but have you ever like cowered down from, don't you have like a niece?
yeah,
She's probably like 100 pounds less than you. You ever cower down in fear from her?
uh, nah, nah, I can't think of a instance at this moment.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying.
Orange Cassidy's
It's,
a half foot shorter than Jeff Jarrett too.
I know, and he has no muscle.
No muscle mass
He's just
whatsoever.
he's just cut. Like, I mean, okay. I mean, I'm fat, but who am I to say? But I mean, daggum. Can these people go train with The Rock?
Bro, and you're not on TV every week. This is their job
Well,
to
yeah.
look like professional wrestlers. Excuse me for wanting them to look like, I don't know, professional wrestlers? Like you saw that guy in the airport, Micah. Would you turn the other way? Would he stand out at all?
No, he just looks like a plain Jane.
Now, if you would have seen, I don't know, a Wardlow walk through the airport, you're gonna, hey, this guy looks like something, bro. Nobody's,
Tough guy over here.
yeah, no, nobody is going to think twice. Nobody's going to believe that Orange Cassidy is a professional wrestler if he tells somebody that, like a bar or something. Like I'll be like, oh yeah, sure, buddy, get up out of here.
Yeah, okay, pal.
Come on, man. It's just, and Danhausen, he isn't innocent either. He sucks. His stuff isn't funny. He does this. I don't even. Did he hit any offensive moves in the whole match?
If he did, I don't remember, but that's not to say that he didn't.
What does he do?
But
How is he setting a check?
at least he moves merch.
How?
Does Cassidy move merch like that?
Have you ever seen a Danhausen shirt?
Yes.
Unironically,
Like you talking about like not at a pay-per-view or something?
just like out in the wild. Go to the grocery store. You gonna see a Danhausen shirt, Micah?
Have I or will I?
Either or.
I really have out in public before.
Come on, man. Your brother doesn't count.
No. Man, don't bury my brother like that. He listens to the podcast. No, but no, I really have. I really have seen them like in Walmart. Very rarely, but I promise you, because if I do, I make this glare at Hannah, and then she makes the same glare back, and then
You need to ask them, what are we missing about Danhausen? Are we just not in on the joke? I don't understand.
the thing is, like, I've looked it up before, and then everybody's just like, oh, Danhausen is Danhausen.
What does
What does that mean?
I don't know.
What's your gimmick, brother? Yeah. Anyways, FTR's back.
Yeah.
Solid. The rest of the match, I can't say the same for.
No.
My dog's going bananas in the background.
Felt like a dynamite match.
Yeah. Oh, he got pissed. We started talking about Danhausen bad like that.
He wasn't going to take that slander.
Finally, we arrived at our main event, the Iron Man match for the AEW World Championship. Bryan Danielson versus MJF. Lots of scoops. I got no slams. You got one.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
For my first scoop, I thought this was a really good match overall, and I think it's MJF's best match of all time.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess all time.
I did. The story with Punk was a lot better, but this was his best match.
That's fair. Because the feud for this one was not my favorite.
No.
But the dog collar match was mainly great because of the storytelling in the match.
Yeah.
But just solely, like, if you just showed someone that match, they wouldn't get it. But if you watch the weeks of build, then they get it. But if you showed somebody this match, they probably wouldn't watch it because it's too long. No, I'm just kidding. But for real, I this is his best in ring match, and MJF has proven a lot of people wrong because people want to say, "Oh, he's not a good wrestler. Oh, he's not a commodity. Oh, his stuff's stale." But you say what you want to, and he pretty much proves you wrong the entire time. It's like that time he cut the promo during the summer and was like, "Oh, you all say I'm a bad wrestler," and then I wrestled Darby Allin, and you were like, "Oh, he is a good wrestler. I've always been a good wrestler."
I really don't see the criticism for his in-ring stuff. I just see criticism about him not wrestling on the week to week. Like he has Roman Reigns scheduled at 25 years old.
Mm-hmm.
That's what always bothered me. I never questioned his in-ring stuff. It's just, can bro be in a tag match here and there on TV?
He's making major motion pictures.
Bro, I just don't. If you're in your absolute peak, 25 years old, you should be wrestling more than 4 times a year. Like, that's crazy. He doesn't even wrestle in
I
the indies. What does he do? He just comes out, cut a promo. I like his promo.
insane free time.
I like his promos, but can we have him wrestle at least once a month? Is that asking too much?
Apparently so. Now, I mean, I see your point. I'm the same way with Roman. I do wish that Roman would wrestle a little more, but
Why doesn't he
I
wrestle
mean,
on Rampage here and there?
it might boost the ratings.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Bro, he doesn't wrestle week to week. That's what bothers me about him. Doesn't wrestle. I can understand if you're Roman Reigns, you earned that. You're 37 years old compared to 25. I don't like that. I don't like
Maybe he's saving his body for a WWE run.
bro, you should be making your name in ring in your youth, not when your body's broken down in your 30s.
Okay, let me present it to you like this. Think about like Bryan Danielson or Samoa Joe, or even now, even though this is his first major injury, and AJ Styles, who like killed themselves on the indies, and then they got to WWE, and I mean, yeah, they all got their run, their fun in the sun, whatever you want to call it, but like Danielson had to retire early. AJ's dealing with injuries now. Joe dealt with injuries his entire WWE run and never really got to be there. So,
I think his in ring style isn't. You can't compare Danielson's in ring style to MJF. Like Danielson had a reckless. I'm not gonna say reckless because I mean he didn't go out there and wrestle garbage matches like Moxley does, but he had a hard, heavy hitting style for years. MJF doesn't have that style. That is a style you can wrestle week to week and not get a major injury. You would think.
well, not in that locker room. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I see your point, and I also would like him to wrestle more. I'm just trying to play,
Yeah,
devil's advocate.
yeah.
I'm trying to be your role for once.
Well, he's doing a good job, pal.
I try. Um, what you got? We'll go back and forth on this one because we both got a couple.
So MJF did this table spot where bro he put Danielson on the table on the outside. I guess that's where they have the timekeepers area. And he jumps from the top rope, does a pretty good elbow drop from the top rope, hits Danielson directly on the in the midsection. Get some flush. So he picks up Danielson, and he does this tombstone on a shattered table, and it breaks it even more. I don't think I've ever seen somebody break a table twice like that.
The only time I can remember is SummerSlam from this past year
Oh yeah,
because
yeah.
they broke the table and then didn't like Brock slam Roman through it one more time or something.
Yeah, you're right.
But it is a new
It's
thing.
innovative. It was very innovative.
Yeah. And I mean, I liked it too, which I like the elbow drop. The elbow drop is a good
It's classic.
midway move
It's classic.
because like it's high flying, but it's not a triple corkscrew butterfly twist, and then Excalibur gets to shout that at the top of his lungs.
Sometimes the classics, they just it looks a lot better. You can't beat the classics.
Well, you said it,
Hey,
and I'll agree with it.
can I hit you with a double stack?
Nah,
No. Oh, okay.
nah, go ahead.
So, I believe Danielson had the advantage. I think he was up two. No, he was up one fall to MJF zero, and MJF low blows Danielson, and so it gives Danielson the victory. So he's up 2-0,
Mm-hmm.
and then MJF pins Danielson twice in a row just to tie it up. And I don't think I've ever seen that in an Iron Man match.
It makes sense though because I've thought about that before, where it's like
He should have just kept on doing that.
just be up like 8 to like 6. Um, I've thought about that before, where if I get a brick, well,
Well,
apparently not. If I got a bazooka and
are we sure?
I might can only get 3 falls out of that. And you used it just to lose one, but you pick up 3 or 4. I'm who could say that you can't do that?
Yeah, I liked it because there's no rest period in between falls, so
Yeah,
it made sense. And I don't know if you noticed, Micah, but MJF he got no clean pinfalls throughout this whole match.
good.
He didn't. Yeah, I liked it. It made sense.
It protects him to
It gives
have
Danielson
that.
an out.
Yeah, and MJF always wins by cheating. It's his thing, and you get mad because you're like, oh, he doesn't deserve that.
He's a heel.
So, through and through.
Yeah.
The, or my next scoop, the back and forth ending, which I know I'm kind of jumping ahead a little bit, was really good to me
That
because,
was after the time limit, right?
yeah, the extended, or what they call it, sudden death or
Yeah.
whatever. I really liked it because when Danielson had him in the label lock, I mean, I legit was like, oh shoot, like I really didn't know because the crowd was so behind Danielson. And was the sudden death? No.
What?
Well, okay, you remember he had him in the label lock. He crawls to the ropes, grabs the ropes, and then taps. Was that in the sudden death or was that in the regular?
That was the
Was
sudden
that
death.
one the time?
No, that was the sudden death.
Okay,
Because he rolled to the
so
outside after that to get the oxygen machine.
you're right. So yeah, just that into grabbing the oxygen machine, all that I thought was done so
Yeah,
well,
that was
and
great.
the Iron Man match kind of sucks because it is so long. But when you can do innovative stuff like this to keep it different and make people, I guess, want to watch it because it's like, oh, what are they gonna do different than like Sean and Brett? People praise that one, and I watched it, and it's a good wrestling match, but there's no falls, and then Sean just hits him with one super kick. Like they didn't even do their finisher.
No,
I think Brett locked in one sharpshooter.
it wasn't their best match.
By no means. And so
And
I don't know.
there's a lot of slow stuff that happened in that match. This match was they kept you entertained throughout, which is very, very hard to do in Iron Man matches.
Yeah, I ain't kidding. Because that's another thing too. You got to give MJF props for. That's an hour-long match. He ain't never done anything like that. Like most of his matches are pretty short. Plus, like we were saying earlier, he don't have a whole lot of them. So
No. But he was in good hands with Danielson. Danielson has, and probably still is, he's probably still the best in the world.
in ring,
In ring, he probably still is. I can't find a lot of people that's better than him. Do you think anybody deserves a little shout out?
Um,
Bro can have a great match with literally a broomstick.
yeah.
He's
I
great,
I
man.
think Seth is really good too. That's the first other person that jumped to my mind. But Seth can't lead. I feel like Danielson can.
And I think, well, I know Danielson has had way better matches throughout the years than Seth. Especially Seth, I don't know, when he had that ACL tear, he's kind of seemed a little slower. He doesn't seem as fast as he used to. I don't know. His matches are hit or miss nowadays, for me at least.
What else you got? I think we got two or one more apiece.
That yes chant that Danielson had,
Oh man.
that made me. He's never done the yes chant in AEW, and he started doing it towards the end of the sudden death when he was setting up for the running knee, and I swear I thought I knew Danielson ain't gonna win this match going into it, but when he started doing that yes chant, part of me was like, oh, you know what? He probably could. I don't know. He might pull this off. So I thought that was nice. I like that.
It really did spark. Like, I mean, the crowd was already up, and that's the crazy thing too. They were up for this whole match, but I don't know. I guess it just when you saw him doing it, it kind of took you back to like 2013, and it was like or 2014.
Whole crowd started doing it too. They went
Yeah,
bananas when he started doing it.
I don't blame him. I would have too, and I even wanted MJF to win, but you know, you start to look and you're like, oh well, maybe it wouldn't be so bad to let Brian have a world title run. I got one last one for you, and it's really not even a scoop. It's mainly just a question. Do you think this is the best Iron Man match of all time?
I've only seen, well, in AEW, yeah, I'd say yeah, in AEW,
Oh, for sure.
yeah. But I don't know. I would put it. It's tough, man, because I really like the Brock Lesnar Kurt Angle Iron Man match from SmackDown, and it kind of had a messed up finish. But the Judgment Day match in 2000 with Rock and Triple H, I really like that too. But it did. The last fall was caused by DQ. But that was the first night he came out as Biker Taker.
Yeah.
I really like that match too. But yeah, I can. If somebody told me this was the best Iron Man match of all time, I wouldn't. I mean, I would have hard pressed to deny it.
Let me. Now, this isn't including any AEW ones, I think. But this is somewhat current because it has the Seth
Oh
Rollins Dolph Ziggler one.
God, no, that was
Well, no. So I just wanted to give you a couple
okay.
from WWE. So there's the Chris Benoit versus Triple H one.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
that was on Raw, wasn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
July 26, 2004. Meltzer gave it 3.5 stars. Um, I'm skipping that one because I'm sorry, but Jimmy Wang Yang is not even in the same like airspace as MJF and Danielson. No disrespect, but
Yeah.
what's this, a 15-minute Iron Man match? It's not even. Anyways, John Cena versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship at Bragging Rights 2009.
I've never seen that one.
Oh my God,
I've
Cena
never
won
seen
6-5.
it. Did you watch that one?
I probably did, but I couldn't tell you anything about it.
Yeah.
Triple H versus The Rock, Judgment Day 2000. He also won 6-5.
That was good though.
Yeah.
That might have been
Shawn
Rock's best
versus
match.
Brett, all time.
It might have, yes. Bro, he has some really. Triple H is probably his best in ring rival. They had some really good matches together.
I'll have to go back and watch it because I ain't seen it. But okay, so Shawn versus Brett, obviously. Brock Lesnar versus Kurt for the WWE Championship, like you were talking about just a minute ago. And then Bayley versus Sasha Banks for the NXT Women's Championship.
That was okay. People hyped it up like it was some 5-star classic. It was fine. It wasn't their best match.
It's on the same rating scale as the other two that I just listed.
What they give it?
4.25, same as Brock and Kurt and
Jesus
Shawn and Brett.
Christ. So, just a half star less than Shawn versus Taker at WrestleMania 25.
Don't remind me. I mean, it is definitely in contention for best Iron Man match of all time, I think.
It's on the list, I guess, of Iron
It's
Man
at the
matches.
table.
Yeah, it's on the list of Iron Man matches.
Oh, no, I meant Danielson and MJF. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Bayley versus Sasha.
No.
Yeah, I think it was a great match, man.
It was a good ending to the pay-per-view.
Is it their best pay-per-view main event? Like AEW? What's the best one you can remember?
I tell you what. I don't think that match is better than this one. But a lot of people, because of the stuff that happened after, forget that Punk versus Moxley was a really good match at All Out.
I've never actually gone back and watched it.
It was honestly one of Moxley's best matches, in my opinion. Solely in ring.
I'm tripping. I was thinking you were talking about Punk versus Page.
Oh. I mean, I was there live for that one, so I can't. I don't know how it came across on the TV.
Look, Punk Moxley.
I never went back and watched it.
Punk Moxley, I think, just because I watched it so late that I was not enjoying that match at all. Like I watched it at 3 in the morning.
Oh yeah, because you had work that night, didn't you?
I did, but then I was hearing stuff about the press scrum, and I had to power through.
Well, I mean, personally, I'm not a big Page Omega fan, but some people might say that. And then the first one I ever saw was All Out 21, and that main event was
It was fine.
Omega versus Christian, so
it was fine.
So yeah, I mean, you might be right. A lot of people were saying that this was AEW's best pay-per-view.
What?
Respectfully, there's a lot of recency bias on Twitter, obviously, but yeah, some people were saying that this might be the best AEW pay-per-view of all time. I'm sorry, but Revolution 22's got more than a case, and so does All Out 21.
Yeah, definitely so. This was not their best pay-per-view. It's their best pay-per-view of this year.
Well,
technically the truth.
I mean, when you put it like that, you're not wrong. I'm just saying.
It was a great match, Danielson versus MJF, and without this match, I would have had to give this pay-per-view a dud, man. I did not like this pay-per-view altogether.
I'm going to give it, let's see. I got to run it down in my mind again. Ricky and Jericho, Jungle Boy Christian,
Yep.
the Elite, the women's match, Ryan, Jamie, Hangman Mox.
Yeah.
7.8.
Wow. Wow.
Well, Danielson and MJF was really good.
Can we go back?
Not big on the hardcore stuff, but I like the hardcore stuff.
Can we go back and talk about MJF assaulting a child? Can we talk about that?
Go ahead, you say your case.
All right. So my one and only slam. I know we're rehashing this. we're digging up our review, but
just like Jungle Boy's dad. Anyway.
Okay. All right. Yeah. MJF saw a young child in the audience when he was running away from Brian Danielson, and he decided upon himself to take this young child's mother's drink and throw it on this child. Now, a lot of people online are praising this action. What a heel. Oh, that's how you get heat, brother. That's how old school heels did it. Yeah, old school heels didn't assault children. That's a little too much for me. And if I was this kid, I would I would tell my mom to contact Stephen P. New, and we would have a case on our hands because he definitely assaulted a child on live television. Micah, it's there for the whole world to see. That's a cool six-figure lawsuit right there.
It wasn't live television. It was pay per view.
Doesn't matter, man. They have it on footage. It happened. It's assault. You assaulted a child.
See,
Assaulted a minor. That's way.
isn't assault though? I know
Yes,
you took criminal justice classes, and apparently it legally can be assault. But like, is it really?
bro. You go to work tomorrow and pour a drink on your boss and see how that would work out.
But the little kid's not his boss.
Doesn't matter. You can't pour a drink on anybody, and especially a child, a minor. Are you crazy? That is terrible. That was awful. He embarrassed that little kid on pay-per-view, and he poured tequila on him, Micah. That's alcohol, man.
Well, now he's distributing to a minor.
Distribute. There you go. That's two charges. MJ crossed
Well,
the
now
line.
he's got a felony.
Bro, he crossed the line. I'm not a fan of that. And it would, I don't know how that mom just stood there and allowed that to happen. Because I don't know, Micah, my mom would have had some words for him. No, she would have, man, she would have threw some hands to MJF. Because ain't no way you're going to disrespect my child like that right in front of me, in front of a worldwide TV audience. No way.
God and everybody.
Bro, he assaulted him. That's assault, Micah. Can't pour your
I'm
drink
not
on somebody.
saying.
Children are off limits, bro. It'd be one thing if he poured it at the mom, I wouldn't care. But children off limits. Can't be doing that.
I'm not saying that I'm gonna praise his actions as like, oh yes, pour drinks on all the children, but I don't know. It didn't bother me, and I thought people may be making a bigger deal out of it than there was supposed to be. I mean, I see the argument that can be made, and again, like you said, like my mom would have been pissed. And apparently, this lady was pissed because, I mean, they said that they were trying to calm her down, and like he went backstage and met Hobbs because Hobbs is his favorite, and they gave him tickets and all that stuff. But
Take it to Rampage.
oh, come on now, you know it's a package deal. I mean, I think that is it okay? No. Is it like really awfully bad? I don't know. I don't think so. I think it was just being a heel. He got caught up in the moment and maybe he didn't realize, well, I'm not going to say he didn't realize it was a kid. Maybe he didn't think his actions completely through and he should have poured it on the mom.
He was, bro, like, I don't know. That had to be a plan, right? There's no way that was real. Because did he not expect like, any repercussions for those actions? What if the dad was just coming back from a popcorn run and he sees that happen and he just starts, giving him a three-piece? I don't know, man. That seems very risky.
I think MJF doesn't care.
Bro, he could have got
I
stabbed.
mean, shoot, he
He could have got stabbed.
freaking motorboated that one girl on pay per view.
Plant.
That's what you think.
I don't know, man. It's just he playing with fire, man. He gonna mess around and find out with the wrong person.
Well,
All it takes,
just like the old days.
all it takes is one drunk dad, man. MJF ain't exactly the biggest guy out there, so I mean, I don't know. I I don't know, man.
Well, I mean, any man's small when you got that thing on you, but anyways, yeah, I don't know. It's a weird situation, but personally, I wouldn't put myself in the situation.
Would you sue? If
Well, if you want to,
I'm asking, would you sue?
no.
You wouldn't? Really? Bro, that is a go. He just gave him the golden ticket. There ain't no way I'm not seeking legal ramifications after that.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh, bro, he hit the jackpot. Bro, it was in front of everybody. Like open and shut case, bro.
I don't know. Like to me, I would be like, oh man, that's a memory that kid will never forget. I don't think I would be like embarrassed.
And he can win a lawsuit too. He can still have that memory, but I mean, you can have that memory and pay for your college for 3 generations to come.
I think Tony and them made up for it fairly. They gave him tickets, and he got to meet the wrestlers and go backstage. And
I would want a little more.
what else do you want? A stock in the company?
Yeah, you know what? I do.
I'd take that. I'd make that deal. You make that deal.
I want season tickets to the Jags for the next 30 years. I don't know.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know that's probably punishment. You know, I would want something. I would want some money, man. And being as it happened on live pay-per-view, there ain't no way I'm not getting a payday from that.
Well, I guess we'll close up Revolution with that. I don't really have anything else to say.
No, I give it a 4.3.
4.3?
Okay, 5.1. And I know you're twisting my arm, but I'll give it a 5.1.
You're being harsh.
I just didn't like his pay-per-view, bro. I like the main event. Jungle Boy and Christian had a good story. Other than that, yeah. Felt like a Dynamite episode.
Well, Raw rolls on. And speaking of, Monday Night Raw was definitely here, and it came and went. This was the March 6th edition of Monday Night Raw, and
they were in
once
Boston.
again,
in Boston.
it is Baston, the close home from John Cena.
Yeah.
But again, Raw is so segment filled and time filled, and you know what? That's all right.
Segment and recap field.
Yeah, because they take forever. They recapped the Lashley Bray thing. They recapped the Cody Roman thing. They recapped the Logan Seth thing before they did. Like, man, just make the freaking thing 2 hours. But you know, this is our weekly gripe. To open up Monday Night Raw, the Bloodline pulled up. Heyman cut a promo, basically just saying, you know, we've got to eliminate the Sami Zayn problem and the Kevin Owens problem and the same stuff they've been saying for like a month.
Yeah.
But it's good stuff. I don't mean to, you know, just knock it, but...
But have you seen, I mean, you know it's good stuff.
Yeah. You've seen one of those, you've seen all of them, sadly. That led into the first match of the night, Solo Sikoa versus Kevin Owens.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a bad match. It's just, there was nothing outrageous on this show in terms of the match quality, and I love it because we're gonna...
Yeah.
We talked about Revolution for like an hour and a half, and Raw is gonna be like 10 minutes. We both had a scoop, though. Kevin Owens and Sami... I'm glad to see that even out of Canada, they're the most over thing in the company aside from Cody.
And it's, I mean, they deserve it, man. They're really good. Steve Austin had his first match in, what was that, 20 years, and he came out of retirement for Kevin Owens, and they trusted Sami Zayn to have one of marquee matches on WrestleMania last year and Johnny Knoxville. Say what you want about Johnny Knoxville, but it was a marquee match on WrestleMania. So, you feel,
Mm,
I feel, I'm happy for these guys. They deserve it.
I'm gonna let that marquee comment slide, but
Bro, it was,
it
man.
isn't it kind of crazy that I guess like the people leading the way in AEW are who you would think would be leading the way in WWE, and the opposite for vice versa. Because like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and Cody are leading WWE right now, and I mean you can throw in the Usos and Roman too, but they're usually on every single show. In AEW, Danielson, Moxley, Jericho. Those are all WWE guys. So I don't know. It's kind of funny, and I was thinking about that when I was watching this segment. For your scoop, we kind of shared this one. I mean, if you just want to hit on it real quick.
Yeah, Sammy had a run in, helped out his buddy. Um, Adding some fuel to the fire for their feud with the Bloodline. I liked it.
Yeah, um, it kind of feels like I don't know, not bad, I guess, but some of the stuff is starting to get a little repetitive. Like the eliminate Kevin Owens, eliminate Sami Zayn. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, assassinate him?
Well,
What do you mean eliminate?
they're kicking into overdrive after what happened in the main event. So I feel like we're gonna get something different now.
Yeah, I think that saved it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess like when I think of eliminate, that means get rid of, and then like I'm shooting to like when Rikishi hit.
Bro, they're trying to. You didn't see when they put the chair on Kevin Owens' skull, or was that Sammy? I don't know. And they tried to do the that thing where they run from corner to corner with their behind.
Oh yeah, I don't know what it's called, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they're trying to do that on a weekly basis. So it looks like they are trying to assassinate them, like you said.
Well, I mean, look at their dad hit. What was it Triple H or
Stone Cold.
their? Oh, well, yeah. One of their many main event talents back in those days. Uh, he hit him with a car. Come on now.
Well, he did it for the
Daddy
Rock.
didn't teach you about eliminating somebody?
He did it for the Rock.
Well, they can do it for Roman. It's all in the bloodline. That's how Rock comes back from Mania. Hits one of the Usos with a car. Anyways, the only slam I had
Solo.
was huh? Oh, there you go.
It's Solo, and then they recast him as Jacob Fatu.
I wouldn't hate it.
I'll be in.
Somehow it works.
Yeah.
So, following the Kevin Owens Solo Sikoa match, Bobby Lashley was in the back, peering into the depths of my soul with his interview about Bray Wyatt. And then Byron Saxton, the Lashley promo was just kind of like there. It was okay. And then Byron Saxton,
I thought this was funny.
cut to him. It was so awkward. It felt like a parody. It felt like a South Park skit.
That's a.
Ooh,
I
strong comments.
They had to be on purpose.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I was like, this has got to be like a rib or something. They were like, you've got to say, you've got to act like something blew you away at least once tonight on the show or something crazy.
I mean, to be fair, Mean Gene Okerlund in the 80s, he was always an overactor as well.
Yeah, but it fit with Mean Gene. I don't know how to explain that.
I like Byron, man. I don't know. I got a soft spot for Byron. I think he's cast in the right role as backstage.
Oh, yeah, get him off the announce table, but
He didn't fit there.
It was funny to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
What wasn't funny was the match that followed Carmella versus Bianca Belair. I ain't watching all that.
Yeah.
It went through a commercial break, too.
I know. I was surprised. Carmella came out with Chelsea Green, too.
Oh, yeah. I think that's a good pairing, but why did they bring her in?
She's actually has a gimmick. I mean, that's something that you can't say about
Uh,
80% of the women on the roster. It seems like a lot of ladies in both companies, they always have somebody tagging along with them, you know?
it's their posse. They're girls.
Oh, you close. Um, yeah, I guess. You, yeah, man, I don't know. Just Chelsea Green didn't really serve a purpose out there.
Yeah, and then the aftermath. Did you see this?
I saw it. It was on TV.
So Bianca wins, obviously, and Asuka came out and did the mist, and she tried to get it in Carmella's face. She missed the mist and misted Chelsea Green with the green mist. Um,
Wow.
yeah, there's a lot of say that 3 times fast. Uh, the announcers were awful because Kevin Patrick was just like, "Oh, wow," or something. He pulled a Shivani and just said so. He was laughing too when he said it, so
Oh,
that right there
God.
kills the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, not that it's believable at all, anyways, but it just takes you out of it. And then they just stared at each other and looked at the WrestleMania sign. That's what they've been doing for the past 3 weeks. There's no build to this feud. It's just
Oh,
mist and stare. Ooh. I want to
yeah.
see the match because they're in ring, but nothing about what they're doing right now makes me want to see this match.
No, there's no. It seems like they want us to make our own storyline in our heads because there really isn't anything they're feuding over other than the title.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. She won the Royal Rumble match. You couldn't come up with something? Dang. Or
And
no, she didn't win the Royal. She won the Elimination Chamber.
they should have turned her heel weeks ago.
Yeah,
It just,
that's another thing.
it's missing something.
Babyface versus babyface, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
After that, Kevin Owens and Sammy did some, promos in the back. That's what I was talking about earlier when KO did his little stutter like Adam Cole. But they still showed the distrust between each other, so that was good. I forgot to mention that
Yeah.
earlier that when Sammy came out, they were still kind of at odds, but not, I guess. And then we rolled on to this next segment, and like always, I'm sure we got different feelings about this.
I was
I fell
surprised.
asleep.
Yeah, I was surprised you didn't like this.
I fell asleep. I'm in my game chair and I fell asleep.
Bro, we have completely different like viewpoints in this segment because I had nothing but scoops throughout this whole segment.
No,
I actually
I
really
don't know.
liked it.
We see just so differently. It's always this and the Bray Wyatt stuff. It's just two complete different ends of the spectrum. Logan Paul and Seth Rollins had their face off with The Miz mediating. And I the scoop that I wrote is supposed to be a slam. So I'll let you just take the floor because I ain't got one.
I really, really enjoyed that Logan Paul is finally being what he should have been from day one when he walked into the company, and that's a heel. And bro, just for a guy that is really not a big fan of wrestling, like I remember hearing him on his podcast. He was talking about stuff with Roman months ago, and and Roman brought up the what chants, and he didn't even know what the what chants were. So that just told me that he hasn't been a big fan of this. Like maybe he caught a few matches growing up, but he really hasn't been a big fan. But he just gets it. He's a natural, and he gets heat. How many guys can get heat like Logan Paul?
He has outside heat too because people just hate him and his brother, and I
That's
ain't calling
fine.
him.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
about
fine.
to say,
They have reasons.
I guess
But
okay, all
if you
right.
can translate that into making money, then that's what the wrestling business is all about. He sounds natural on the mic too. Big scoop.
That's a shoot, brother.
Big scoop for Logan Paul in this segment. He did well. And when Seth isn't doing that, well, can I hit you with a double stack?
Oh, you can take the floor. I ain't got
Oh,
a scoop. Well, I do agree with your last one though. I want to say that I that is a scoop in my opinion too. That he is being a heel.
Seth, when he's not doing the whole laughing at everything and I don't know his catchphrases that somehow people like, and when he's not doing all that garbage, he he ain't bad on the mic. He got a little serious for a sec, and I really did enjoy his part for some of this stuff. And towards the end of the segment, you disagree?
No, I mean he is good, but I don't want to. It's like I don't know. It's like gold mining. You got to sift through all that dirt and crap to find a little tiny little speck of gold. It's, what's the point?
How many nicknames does he have, too?
I don't know.
He's
More than freaking
a revolutionary.
Flair or The
He's a
Rock.
he's a revolutionary. He's an architect. He's a visionary. He's Seth freaking. I mean, does he have more nicknames than Jericho at this point?
Oh man,
Who
I
has more
said Flair
nicknames?
and Rock, but you might be right.
I don't know. He has a lot of nicknames. Yeah, man. Seth wasn't bad for some of this stuff, and towards the end of the segment, I don't know if it was great camera work because they didn't replay it, so they must have hit it well. But Logan Paul threw one of the best punches I've seen in wrestling in a long time. He hit him, and Seth went down, and it looked legit. I don't know if he landed it, but you couldn't tell if he didn't. You know,
I honestly didn't catch it because the super kick beforehand was so awful. So
you
I
talking
was paying more
about he missed?
attention to that. Yeah, it missed completely.
Well, if that missed, this one didn't, because Logan he knocked him out for the count. I thought that was a really good working punch from Logan. But
So Logan didn't miss like Oscar missed the mist on Carmella, and she then put the green mist on Chelsea Green.
mm-hmm.
All right,
But
yeah,
yeah,
okay. Anyways,
it's a big scoop. I really enjoyed this segment. This is probably the top three programs I'm looking forward to the most going into WrestleMania. And I think they might have match of the night or whichever night it lands on. They might have match of the weekend. They could.
it's plausible.
Logan,
I don't know.
Logan's good in there.
Something about he just he seems like I guess I don't know, just somebody from like around here, especially when he like pulled his hat back and then he just doesn't look like a wrestler to me, and that bothers me. And then some of the stuff, yeah,
Really?
yeah, I don't know. It's something. There's a disconnect
Bro,
to
he's
me.
bigger than 70% of the roster.
Well, now in AEW maybe
Bro, he's like 6'2", 6'3".
he he needs to get on that rock diet.
Hey, man, I think Logan looks like an athlete.
I didn't say he didn't look like an athlete. He just needs a little bit of muscle.
Oh,
I
man.
don't. Mainly, the thing that issue,
There you
Yep, easy for me to say. Uh, I didn't like that Logan was like, "Oh, this segment has a time limit."
What's wrong with that?
I don't know. It just makes it feel corny to me
I
or
mean,
fake.
every show has a time limit.
I mean, yeah, but it's supposed to be card subject to change.
Man,
Because like then,
you
well
can't just
then
go
it's like,
in
oh, this segment's got a time limit. You plan for all those backstage attacks too?
there. That's different. Hey, man, every it's like I equate it to like a SNL show. I mean, they have segments and time limits on things they do. So I mean, this is supposed to be a show technically, right?
Yeah, but the SNL stuff is pre-recorded, is it not? And then they
Nah, it's live.
it's
Saturday Night Live.
well, yeah, it is Saturday. It's late. I know we say that all the time, but
I don't know. It didn't bother me that much.
I just I hate the. Well, we'll get to the fourth wall breaks. I don't know. And I just don't like Seth. And
Hey, you done with it?
no, but well,
You wrote that down.
maybe. It's until he gets a gimmick change. Yeah, I think I am.
Yeah.
It's just bad. It's bad every week, and I complain about it every week, and nothing changes.
He's over.
Yeah, they sing his freaking every week. Well, it's time to rise up, Homo sapiens.
Oh, Lord.
Because the next match was against Dolph Ziggler, and this hurt me somewhere deep down in my childhood that Dolph Ziggler got. He got beat flat in less than a minute.
This got a little mini controversy online, man. I was seeing a couple videos about it. Like, people were hurt about this. Did they really want Ziggler to have a competitive match with Omos?
Well, who else is he going to have it with?
Come on, man. I mean, Omos is 7'3". Let's just be realistic here.
They couldn't get Corbin to do this job.
Well, he's going to do a job later.
Well, I'd rather him have a competitive match with Chad Gable than Corbin.
Corbin's a heel.
I don't know.
Ziggler's cashing them checks, and he is not. I don't feel bad for him because he kept on re-signing. This is what he deserves. He had a chance to walk away multiple times. He continues to want to be here. So you know what? At some point, you have to help yourself. And if he doesn't,
you're pushing him out the door like a
we
senior
tried.
citizen.
No, we tried. We done it for years, but he still keeps on re-signing. We don't know what to do. Beat him some more. Oh, so you know what? I don't feel bad for him. And you know what? This is the first Dolph Ziggler sign I've seen in the crowd in a very long time, Micah. Did you see that? Ali was holding up the Ziggler sign.
Oh, come on now.
I'm just saying, bro. I mean, that was
why
good.
Why are you such a Dolph Ziggler hater? Why just because you like the Miz?
I do like the Miz, but you can't really compare their careers because one is a first ballot Hall of Famer, and one of them be lucky to park cars the night of the Hall of Fame. I don't know, man. It's just
first ballot.
Yeah, first ballot Hall of Famer. Yeah, 2-time WWE champion. WrestleMania
heavyweight champion.
How many main events of WrestleMania did Ziggler have? Oh, yeah,
okay, right. You act like the Miz was in there because he deserved it. He was only in there as a placeholder for them to further the Rock Cena feud.
I thought he did deserve it.
Interesting.
Miz worked hard.
Before we get too far into this, man, Dolph Ziggler deserves better. He should have went to AEW.
He chose to stay, so that's what he gets.
My say is main event caliber because, oh my god, the Maximum Male Models were in the back and they were watching.
How do you describe this?
I don't even know. Just
go find.
If you did watch Raw, just watch the main event models segment. Man, people hate this on, huh?
You call him the main event model?
Well, yeah, it's like the main event mafia, but
same thing.
Man, people hate this. I don't know why, but it's the funniest thing to me every week.
But then we'll preach to you that Danhausen is somehow the second coming of Chappelle, but they don't like the Maximum Male Model segment. Okay, all right,
well, there's two sides to that coin because we don't get Danhausen, but we also think this is funny.
We're justified. They suck.
They're not insulting in the ring. Anyways, Corbin walks up to him, and just Massey had this just look of utter disgust on his face. Just It's the face that I imagine like Vince McMahon makes when he just like sees out like Corbin walk into his office or something.
He saw Gargano in NXT and he decided to kill the whole product.
You know, I was thinking that because there was a rumor that Vince was in Gorilla all night and legit the night after Gargano was back in NXT. And I'm not saying that there's some weird foreshadowing there, but you know,
Bro, it is a
if
crime against humanity that nobody got a picture of Vince McMahon in a mustache. Because that was floating around backstage that he had a mustache.
yeah,
Why did we
I
not
would
get any pictures of Vince in a mustache?
I would have paid to see it. And then people photoshopped that one, but it was kind of funny. I ain't gonna lie.
I laugh.
Following that, speaking of
Mm.
Johnny Gargano, he fought Finn Balor, and yeah,
I don't like either of these guys.
I was gonna skip it, but considering it was the Maple Syrup Mayhem match, I had to stay around.
There you go.
And then I was upset. Just like, I mean, one, there was no syrup. Two, or pancakes. Where's the New Day when you need the when you need the pancakes?
How'd they never get a syrup sponsorship deal?
Well,
Remember John Cena
it's
got
just like,
that Fruity Pebbles sponsorship deals? How did they not get a sponsorship with like I can't the Pearl
yeah, well, that's
Mills. Oh, well, maybe that's not the best sponsorship.
that's what I was like when you said that. I was like, well, who are they gonna get sponsored by? Because like,
Mrs. Buttersworth, I don't know.
who makes syrup that's not Pearl Milling Company?
Mrs.
We all know
The controversy surrounding that. You know what? You got any scoops for this match?
Nah, Gargano hit a nice upkick, or Gargano. Is it? I know I probably asked this months ago. Is it Gano or Gano?
I mean, I feel like you can say it either or, like
I just call him.
Saraya and Saraya, or Omas and Omos. I mean, I don't know.
Well, I just say Homo sapiens. Um, I just call him Johnny. Yeah, he had a nice upkick. Finn was jumping over the top rope, and Johnny was on the ground, and he stuck his leg up and kicked him, and it looked
Does he look
pretty
10 years
solid.
old to you?
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I was willing to give him a chance, but I'm not feeling him on the main roster at all.
he just doesn't. I mean, I don't know. He's Finn Balor. You don't
It's the
have any
size,
good promos.
the size thing.
Well,
He's
it
five
certainly
foot
don't help
six.
him.
No, he's 5'6", man, and he just ain't doing it for me. Maybe a heel turn. I would actually want to see Dexter get a little bit of shine. Why they got Dexter being the tag along?
He's got more charisma than Gargano, and that's saying a lot.
A mute. Yeah, I guess you're right.
I don't. He just and the only thing I know about the dude because I didn't watch him in NXT, but everybody's always like, "Oh, he's such a great wrestler. He's good." Like on the main roster, I have not seen anything yet that's just really impressed me. So, am I missing something, or has he just been overhyped?
He benefited a lot with that roster because back then the NXT roster was nothing but work rate and
AEW.
the AEW, yeah, basically. Yeah. Except they was with the same crowd week in and week out.
I just, yeah, he put him in the Rollins list after I get done stuttering. What you got for the slams, or did you know?
Just that the audience had no reaction throughout this whole match. Uh, that's all I got,
What you?
really, man.
The only thing I had, and we'll hit them
Oh,
real
yeah,
quick.
you know what? Yeah, I do got something. Go ahead.
Oh, uh, Kevin Patrick is really bad. There was something, and now I can't even remember, but he just. Oh, I think like maybe Johnny hit a move and he. Oh! Gargano, yeah. I mean, it's just the Tony Schiavone role of announcing, and I hate that. Just, I don't know. Why has it come to that?
I don't know. Shivani didn't used to be like that, so no excuse from him. But yeah, Kevin Patrick just sucks.
Oh, he's rotten.
Yeah.
So for your slam, what you got?
The ending. I don't know if you were paying that close attention, Micah, but so Edge's music hits, he distracts Judgment Day, yeah. And then he comes from the back of the audience and he jumps. He jumps to the apron and pushes Finn Balor off the turnbuckle. And the referee just kind of stands there and doesn't disqualify him at all. Like, what?
Well,
Was it
I
no?
thought he was facing the other way.
The referee was?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It didn't look like that to me. It looked like he just
Well,
stood
I
there and let it
could be
happen.
wrong.
You may be right, but I feel like he just stood there and let it happen. Should have been DQ. And Edge kind of buries Gargano in the back later on. Did you see that
Yeah, he
backstage
did.
promo?
No disrespect to Gargano, but then he said Finn should have easily beaten him. Oh, okay. Thanks.
He got a point.
Well,
Shoe fits.
shoes fitting.
I'm wearing it. But yeah, big slam. Should have been DQ.
Big slam for this match, just being on the show. So after that, Nikki Cross versus Piper Niven, and I'm going to continue my streak of not watching any Nikki Cross. So, what happened here?
I'll check my notes. Oh, I just got one thing. Piper botched her own finisher. She has like this black hole slam. You know, like how Abyss his finisher in TNA.
Yeah.
Well, she tried to do that, but yeah, it didn't work out. It looked bad. That was it.
Well, she pulled a Sasha Banks. Yeah. After that, there was some shenanigans backstage with Rick Boogs and Elias. That Joker, I know I've been joking about it the whole show. He must be
He ripped.
Drinking the Rock's juice.
He swole.
I don't know if it's the camera angle or if he's just
Nah, he jacked. He jacked. I think he was.
Derry.
I think he was a bodybuilder before he got signed.
Oh, I believe it. He ain't playing around.
But he's done beefed up a lot. Like I see him in NXT in 2018 or 19. It was before the pandemic, but he didn't look like that. And he almost immediately got over with that audience. Like, I can see this guy getting over, man. I know he does a lot of goofy stuff in the backstage area, but I don't know, man. I feel like keep your eyes on this guy. He's not like a Madcap Moss where he doesn't really have much charisma. This guy has something. I don't know what it is.
They just gotta find it.
They just gotta find it. Yeah, he has something though.
Hmm.
I'm not giving up on him just yet.
Well, he's getting there.
There's something there.
I'll give it time. I don't know. Right now,
After that, we got yeah, I don't know. I'm not. Oh, the Theory versus Cena.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
oh boy.
We,
I thought I was gonna like this a whole lot more.
I did too. I was hearing good things about it online afterwards, but then when I watched it, oh boy.
So Cena comes out. Theory almost immediately interrupts him, and then they have some back and forth stuff. And I'll start. I never thought that I would want to see Cena this bad. Now, I was quickly reminded why, but I was looking forward to this segment because I was like, okay, John Cena's back, so I know this will probably be good.
The energy in the arena changed when his music hit. Like you can tell when somebody's really over when people in like the fourth deck up top rise to their feet when the music hits. That's when you can tell somebody is really
Yeah.
over. And it definitely happened when Cena's music hit.
He's one of those guys, man. Everybody knows who he is, and he's at legend status at this point. So
And absence
it's
makes the heart
deserved.
grow fonder as well.
Yeah, I think that's how the saying
Yeah, sure.
goes. So I'll hit you with a double stack.
Go ahead.
I didn't think that the promo was seen as best, but he was cooking a little bit. Now, sometimes a little too much, but
Yeah.
I thought it was all right.
He laid it on a little too thick for me, dog.
Well, I'll whew, sorry. Um, we'll we'll get a little bit of that when we get to the slams because I think we're gonna kind of
Yeah, we about to cook.
agree. Yeah, and I'll make it a triple stack for free. Theory got his bald spot, and I thought that was funny.
Yeah,
That's all I got.
yeah. I only had one scoop, and it was not for this segment. It was for the aftermath of this segment. That should tell you how I felt about this.
Hmm.
Cena did endorse Cody, which is good for the future of the company because Cody will beat that once he beats Roman. So I like that. And then we get to
That's
the
true.
slams. We get to the slams, and we got a lot of
Yeah.
them. You want to start, or you want me to go?
Um. Uh, let's let you go ahead and go because that'll kind of. I think that'll tie everything in.
Hated it. Hated the whole thing. I hate Cena's fourth wall breaking promos where he just takes liberties on guys and guys just have to sit there and take it because he has more leeway on the mic to venture away from the script and the guys there just standing there taking it have to just sit there and they're like a jabroni. That's what he did to Roman years ago. Yeah,
Yep.
oh yeah, he cooked Roman on the mic, bro. Roman couldn't say anything back because Cena was breaking the fourth wall. How is that a good promo? Work shoot is only good if you can elevate your opponent. And if you're just work shooting, man, he was saying some real stuff to Theory. Like, how am I supposed to take this guy seriously if you just castrate him on the mic like that?
I I don't know, and I was telling my wife that it it's always like this when Cena comes back to me.
Yes.
He does these promos that like exposes everything, and it doesn't make Theory look good. And Theory at the end of this is supposed to get the rub, obviously.
It didn't seem
So,
like it.
well, why would you say that about piped in crowd noise? How does that benefit anyone? And that makes the company to me look
Yeah.
bad.
Saying that nobody cares about him, he doesn't care. Jesus Christ, bro. Like, and you know what? He didn't do this when he was a full time guy, but he was the worst when it comes to selling somebody else's promo. He would just smile throughout the whole thing when he was full time. Like, how you're supposed to emote Cena as an actual person, not smiling? That doesn't sell anything, bro. I hate this is the reason I hated Cena growing up. Like, I understand why half the crowd was booing him.
It flashed me back to all those years.
Yes. Bro, remember we did a Dolph? Remember he did the Roman?
Yeah.
All that type of stuff. He doesn't sell anything. The only guy that I can think of that actually could hit him back with stuff like that is Punk and Rock. That's it.
Well, and obviously elite class of people on the mic and guys who don't have to work off a script like
Yeah,
most everybody else.
yeah. It it just I don't know, man. That didn't make me want to see Theory versus Cena after
Mm.
seeing that round one. Unless Theory, unless Theory can like they can film like a backstage, or not even backstage, off-site segment where he shows up to one of his movies and beats up Cena or something. That's the only way they can redeem this for me because I don't know. This was bad. This was bad for Theory, and yeah, I didn't like it, man.
I think too, it didn't help that like I don't know, just I mean, in all honesty, Theory's got more to pick apart, and obviously he's the heel. But Cena's a legend. Like, what are you gonna say to him that people don't already know?
And what are you gonna say that he's gonna sell? He doesn't sell stuff on the mic. He'll just sit there and laugh and
Yeah,
smile. Like, bro, get serious, man. You're treating it as a joke.
it was just weird. The whole thing and that's what I think people are like. Oh, it kind of felt real, so it was good. Yeah, but yes, but no. Like, I don't. Okay, you remember when the whole MJF Punk thing started? I never got this feeling that I got for this segment.
No.
Because Punk would say real things. Because remember, he made that comment about, oh, if you want to go, go. Because I promise the grass isn't greener on the other side. And if you want to go be a part of the buy one, get one extravaganza, then go help yourself. Or something like that. But MJF came right back with something, you know what I mean? Oh, well, you're just mad because you couldn't cut it there. I don't know if that's what he said, but I'm just saying for example.
Yeah.
But like, it was good back and forth, not like, oh, Punk just crapped on MJF the entire time, and MJF is like, well, you're a bad guy, because that's kind of what they gave Theory.
Yeah. In theory, he just had to sit there and take it.
Yeah, it was not my favorite.
If
Some
that
of the Cena stuff was good, but some of it was way too far and trying to do too much.
bro, if that was scripted, fire that writer because that was just one sided. He nuked him on the mic. It didn't help Theory at all.
I don't think Cena's part was scripted.
They treated him like he was Elias,
Oh man,
bro. They really did.
yeah,
Like you could have put anybody in his shoes, and they could have took that tongue lashing from Cena. Like he got nothing.
yeah. I don't know. Maybe we're beating a dead horse here. Is this gonna get any better, or is this just John Cena?
Just the way to get Cena over.
But why does Cena have to get over?
Cena must pose, brother. Maybe Vince is back.
Oh man, I wouldn't doubt it. Does John Cena look like an actor playing John Cena now to you? Does that make sense?
Yeah, he
He's so skinny.
he's aged a lot.
He don't look like himself. He looks sick or something. I know that. I really hope he ain't. You know
He's
what I mean? If he is, I feel bad for saying that, but
He's off the gas, and then Rock is way, way on the gas. It's weird.
hey, give it to him. Give it to all of them.
I'm fine.
In a safe, measurable
No,
environment.
I don't care. Inject with all of it. Theory,
All the horse hormones.
hey man, Theory didn't care, and they suspended him. And what is he? Wait, is he ever coming back?
Who?
Theory,
Oh, Riddle.
not oh, gee. Yeah, Riddle. It's
Well,
like
I mean, same thing.
I don't know. He may be on the same guy. Yeah, Riddle. Is he ever coming back?
Are you clamoring for it, or are you just asking?
Yeah, you're right. What else happened on this show?
Corbin and Gable fought. Good win for Gable. Corbin, pack your bags, brother. Becky and Lita and Trish did a in-ring uh, collaboration with Bailey and crew. Did you watch this?
Not intently, I'll be honest with you.
Bailey, well, no. Becky and Lita came out there, and it was just, and I got a quote. They said, "Oh, you're new women's tag team champions or whatever," and Bailey goes, "Because when legends like us step in the ring side by side, you best believe we're not gonna miss."
You said that?
And it was as silent as that call was just a second ago.
What does she mean by that? I don't understand.
I don't know, but I don't think people care about this. Like, for real.
She sucks. Bailey sucks. Bailey ain't getting no
What happened?
action, bro. I don't know. She came back from injury and she forgot to cut a promo, bro. I don't know.
No, no. This was Becky saying that, and nobody cared.
I
I
don't
may
know.
have said Bailey.
Same difference. They both suck. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, and Bailey just has nothing else to call the fans but idiots or dummy or dum dums. Like, we're 5 years old. Like, come on, you can, call them a piece of crap or something every now and then. I don't know.
Well,
Good Lord.
I like when LA Knight calls me a dummy. I think that's pretty funny.
Well, but it's kind of ironic when he does it, but she like means it. It's I don't know when LA Knight does it, it's ironic, but when Bailey does it, it's like a math teacher. You know what I'm saying?
She does have that look.
Well, I really did have a math teacher that used to look like her, or I used to have a math teacher that looked like her, not used to look like her.
Plastic
Words
surgery.
and vocabulary, yeah. Man, let's close this thing up. Oh boy, it's getting late.
Okay.
Jimmy Uso versus Sammy Uso. Not anymore. Scoops, slams. You got any?
Bro, this was a great segment. I didn't write anything down because I just love this segment. I mean, the match, it happened. I really didn't watch intently, but the aftermath,
Oh, well, it was all commercials.
yeah, pretty much. The aftermath was pretty perfect. They let it build, and the announcers laid out, and the reaction that Jay and Sammy got when
Oh my
they hugged,
God.
my God. It might have been louder than Cena when he came out. I don't. It sounded pretty loud, man. I don't know.
It, I don't know if it was because the feed was going through the camera that was right there, but you could hear it rattle the
It's
noise thing.
it was a roar of the crowd, and I got hyped.
And then
And then he broke all of our hearts. Turned his back on Sami Zayn.
that pop was just as loud as the one before.
That was
Man,
great. I loved it.
all the scoops for the segment. I mean, like you said, it was great. That's what, like, even you're like, oh, the bloodline stuff's getting kind of stale. Like, oh, they're doing this thing with KO. Oh, they're doing this thing with Sam. It's the same as last week. And then they do something like this, and you're like, oh my God, like, that was great. And the people loved it, and they also hated it. But for, like, a good hate, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hated that the commercials were so long for the match because legit there was two commercial breaks through this match that started at 9:45 and the commercial breaks were 2 minutes apart.
But
So
that's
as
par for
soon
the
as you,
course. That's par for the course on Raw.
well, I mean absolutely, but you came out of the break and you got 2 minutes of wrestling and a 7 minute segment to close. The segment was great, but dang, can I get some more match?
No,
Um,
Raw is segments. You know this.
Raw is segments. Raw is commercials. Um, But yeah, I mean, that's Raw was good segments. Well, good segments for you.
Yeah.
One good segment for me. Overall, what's your rating for Raw? Let's go home.
Uh, Give it about a 6.7. It's 6.7.
Mm,
Not really a great match, so I can't really go higher than that. But it was two really, really good segments and one really bad one.
I'm gonna go 5.8. If this Bloodline segment didn't save it,
Yeah, it'd be.
and I was excited for Cena too, but
Bro, I really think that Sammy and KO versus the Usos could main event night one of WrestleMania. I really do.
I think it could. Do you think that it would be? Do they say that the Royal Rumble gets the main event anymore? Like for the women?
They say you get the main event WrestleMania, but you know how they sometimes they'll say you get the main event, and then the main event is literally third match from the bottom on the
Yeah, like how
card.
they
They say,
told Punk.
yeah, and they say, oh, you're one of the main events. No, that's the main event is the last match. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like this bloodline stuff it has enough juice, and the Usos have been the longest reigning tag champions of all time in WWE. It has the
It's
juice, and
insane.
it yeah, I know it's insane. That story it could main event night one. Why not? What has a better build than the bloodline stuff?
That's true.
You could put Rhea versus Charlotte, but I mean,
The
come on,
story's
man.
not there
It's
yet though.
not there. No, it's not.
And I don't think it's gonna be in 3 weeks.
There's no way. You can't build to something like this has been building for the better part of 2 years.
Yeah.
Have it all come to a head at WrestleMania night one and night two, in my opinion.
I must agree. I think that's the best course of action, but
They're
we'll
gonna give it
see.
to the women though. You know how they are.
Well, you said it, not me. But that don't mean that I don't agree. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go ahead and get some much needed sleep because holy crap, it is late, and I was tired when we started this thing. Um, Make sure to check us out: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Scoop Slam Pod. We'll be back later this week with the Dynamite and SmackDown review once I actually watch those. And know this episode went a little long, but thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to check out our sponsor, Anchor. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week.